Wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Okay, it is Sunday, and in an effort to get a jump on the Proteus build, I am starting to lay down some color, and I'm trying to wrest some sort of order out of all of this chaos. But the thing I want to do right now is to paint the green elements, which are the floor and the countertops. So I've got the parts pulled out that I need to paint. I've got the exhaust fan in the window exhausting the paint out, and once I get those pieces done and drying and out of the way, I can turn my attention to some wiring for some lighting, which is the next big bear to tackle. So let me clean off some of this and get the pieces ready to be painted. Well, hello, it is countdown to Wonderfest. I've got a week and a half basically left. I've got this week, Memorial Day weekend, and then about 3 days because I've got to pack up and get things on the road. So time is of the essence, and I am working on the second Proteus build right now, and I worked on it over the weekend. I wasn't gonna, lose those 2 days. So let me catch you up. I have got a lot of base painting done, started wiring in lights, and that's where I'm at. Let me show you where things stand. Okay, here in the painting window, I have got some of the parts that I've got the base coat of the wall color on, which is a very light gray. And here you can see wiring coming down because I have light. I have a light in this object here, and I've got a light inside on the ceiling of the opened up airlock. I've got a lot of the photo etch down. The majority of the photo etch is down. Those steps do look better with paint on them than they did raw. They look nasty raw. And I've got the, which this might have been a mistake to go ahead and glue these three walls together before I finish detailing them, but I had to do what I had to do. But I've got those photo etch pieces on the back wall that I cannot light because of that back wallness. I'm going to wait and paint the piece of photo etch separately, then attach it down. I've got that photo etch on. I've got the Paul walls up, what I'm calling the Paul walls. These are what Paul Paragraphics has suggested to do rather than using the wall extensions that came with the kit, because the full-size set did not have the little shelf ledge the way Mobius has built or designed their kit. They actually had a wall that went straight up like that, so we're going to try that. I did the ledge thing on the other build, so I'm going to do the Paul walls on this one and see how they go. The thing I've noticed, I was watching, well, let me drag you over to the other thing. Here's the rest of it over on this table, and I've got more lights coming out of the map table and more lights ready to go in. I've got, these are the lights that are going to go behind the map reader or the chart reader, and this is the scope for the front that goes on the front dashboard, and this is the radio. The thing I noticed from watching the film again and studying some screen grabs is it wasn't that well built. It was built like a cheap Hollywood set, and perhaps the Blu-ray is what's not doing it any favors, but it is really showing off how uneven and frankly crappy the sets look. There are bumps, the walls, kind of do a waver thing. So yeah, it's not the sleek starship that you're used to. It's more of a rough and tumble type of thing. So I'm feeling better about not getting each thing done perfectly because, hey, the actual one wasn't perfect either. And I want to correct something that I said on the last video, and that was about the little white box in front of the radio set that I said that there was no kit part for that. Well, there isn't a kit part for it, but Paul did make some photo etch for those boxes. There's one of them there. He actually gives you 3 of those to scatter around, so I put one in front of the radio. This one I'm going to put on Cora's desk to give her something to look at. And I think I'm going to whip up something else from the photo etch scrap pile to see if I can come up with another little boxy type of non-Canon control box to put at Chorus Station, just to balance it out, because no sense letting the radio guy have all the fun. These are some of the bulbs, the LEDs that I'm putting in. I've got the rest of them that I haven't got glued in. I've got them mapped out, so I know where they're going to go. So you'll have to pardon me if I'm getting a bit frantic and disjointed this week, but that's what life is like right now. This week is frantic and disjointed. So, and God willing, and the mail arrives, there is going to be one more kit I'm going to try to squeeze in, but it should be a very, very simple, quick build and a very simple, quick paint. So I could possibly, if it all goes well, get both of these done by the by Memorial Day weekend. That's the goal. So I could spend next week just packing up. So, but take a look at it now, because it's going to very soon look like a submarine. Well, it's Monday evening and we've come down to the end of it. Got a lot done today on the Proteus. Most proud of what's happening here. Putting in some of the clear canopy glue and then painting the colors in from the back. When that way I only have to put a light behind all of it, rather than trying to light or put fiber optics in all of those. Also, I've got some, maybe you can see, I've got some colors going on in there, so one bulb behind all of that will take care of it. And yeah, I think I may want to go over those again tomorrow to intensify the colors a bit. That's the thing about those clears. The more you put on, the more coats you put on, the more intense the color gets. But you can see the holes. And I may just put a light box behind that. You know, box that off and put a single LED in there to take care of all of that. We'll have plenty of room on those on both sides to do that. Can't do anything on the back wall, so I'm hoping that simply putting this, which I did a lot of the same work on, putting it over a white piece of plastic, or a white the white decal sheet, will give enough indication of color, kind of maybe do the same solution to it. We'll see. But I got a lot of these little bits painted today, and I'm throwing them around. I got a lot of these little bits painted today, and I should be ready to start putting them together tomorrow. Let's see, where are we? The radio is finished. I'm starting to check off things that are done. The radio is finished. The couch is finished. Working on, over here I've got the first coats of yellow on the hatches, and I certainly don't want to try to paint those all at one time, because you really got to put a lot of yellow paint on there to get the right look, and you don't want to do that all in one coat. You want to build that up. Let's see, I've got these bits put together. Got this box on the back with a light in it. Hopefully I'll be able to start doing some sub-assembling tomorrow. There's the main tub with the floor painted and the walls painted on it. The main shell is in the other room. Not ready to quite start putting things into that yet. And that's pretty much it. So we're gonna, oh, wait a minute. One last look at the scope with the nice blue metallic. This is actually enamel paint on here. It's the only bit that's got enamel on it. Is that blue paint. This is also that same blue paint on the front there, so that's a little bit of enamel. I got to figure out exactly how I'm going to block off the back of those maps and isolate the lit area. I've got the panel here that's got the two bulbs on it that's going to go, there you go, come on, it's got the two LEDs on it that's going to go and shine in there, but I just have to figure out exactly the best way to do that. So that's all for tonight. We'll pick this up again in the morning. Good morning and how do you do? It is Tuesday, and the continued work on the detail painting of the instrument panels on the Proteus. I want to start finishing some stuff, but first a product recommendation. If you'll recall, a long while ago when I built a Dracula figure, I cast a replacement flame out of clear Easy Cast, And the results were so-so. It had a lot of bubbles in it, and it took forever to set up. Well, I want to cast your eyes again, see what I did there, to a new product, and it's right over here. This is the old Easy Cast. This is the new product. It's hard to find the name on it. It's actually 2-part clear coating and casting resin. It's a, it comes from the makers of Alumilite. And basically it does the same thing, but it does it so much better. I mixed up a batch yesterday because I need more hatches than come with the kit, since I'm opening the bottom hatch. And the inside hatch has they didn't provide enough of these hatches. So I made a mold, very basic, because, you know, they don't have to be perfect, but, you know, they have to be hatches. So I made a mold out of the 2-part molding compound and mixed up some of this Alumilite, and it was right in there. And about 12 hours, so, you know, still not wonderful as far as being immediate. I was hoping to get the regular Alumilite, which has a less of a setup time than this clear stuff does. But since I'm going to paint them anyway, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, long story short, I had some left over, so I poured it into my old flame mold just for grins and giggles. And when I pulled it out this morning, it was amazing. Now that's a little bit of a poor stub there, but it is so much clearer and cleaner and less bubbly than the Easy Cast stuff, that I would have no problems recommending using this forever, for every instance where you need clear. This was not pressure cast, but look how clear it is. What you're seeing are the dimensions on the side of the flame. I'm tempted to cast another one of these with a bulb inside it and replace the flame that is on my Dracula kit with it, because I just love this product so much more. And it's available at Michael's. It's not a specialty item. You can pick it up at your local, I'm sure, your local craft store. But I wanted to cast up some more of these, and while I was at it, but those are the replacement hatches. Now I did clean those out because I overfilled them and I didn't make a 2-part mold. I just, like I said, I just dropped them in like that and overfilled them. So I'm going to clean these up, and that'll give me hatches for the insides of these, or give me wheels for the insides of these hatches, which are now getting a liberal coating of yeller on it. Okay, what I'm looking for is a definitive picture of the front of that scope, so that I know how to best paint the detail, the photo etch piece. And now that I've got that, I can carry that over to the kit part. And look at this guy's lovely blue eyes. We can also see from the front of this that it looks like at least the top part of the radio is a gray color, and I had painted mine black, so I'm going to have to change that. Let's see what other new things we can discover. There you go. That's probably the best shot of the radio you'll get in natural lighting. And the little tensor lamps, they're very nice. They're neat to look at. I don't think I could practically make those at the scale that the kit would require them. So no lights on the tables, no table lights for me. Okay, I want to get reference for this box that's on the chart table. I think I've got it painted black completely, or I need to paint it white or gray, light gray with a black face to it. So need to correct that. Okay, doing some references for the back. The captain not minding the odd capture of his face. I'm looking at these containers and what I can do to dress those up and see what colors the fluids or materials inside are. And I've noticed one thing already that I had also screwed up and I have to fix now. Let me back this up a bit so you can see. And that is, it seems to me that the whole back of that sink, the whole riser and everything is green. Right there, everything behind the sink is green. And I had done the riser part of it the white again. So That's going to have to be redone.
I distinctly remember fastening it down.
Must have been jarred loose during the whirlpool.
There's more of those.
Better get these on as quickly as possible.
Okay, so lessons learned. Now the one more thing I want to check out is the open tub of the. Yes, I'll leave it run for Cora disrobing, but I want to check the. You notice everybody else has got t-shirts, but for some reason she doesn't. I wonder why that is. Okay, I want to see the detail here as to how the inside of the airlock there, where the runners go, and it seems to start at the top of the door there. They don't really show the bottom runner all that well. There's a little bit of the detail of the inside of the airlock, but they don't really show too much of that bottom runner. There's that bottom runner, and you can see that it doesn't. I guess it probably starts with at the frame of the the frame of the hatch as well. But we got this guy and the top one, and they seem to be a gray detail that is in contrast to the white tub. So we get reference from that as well. Now here's an important detail which you might not think about, but it does answer a nagging question for me, and that is the bottom of the insides of the hatches are painted, but where does the yellow start and stop? And it looks like the underside of the arm there is all yellow, but the hatch itself is only gray, and it does not have a yellow band around the edge of the hatch. So the whole inside of the hatch is gray, but the two little arms that hold it back are yellow, and the framework is all yellow. But see, things like that you just have to go by one and take apart and go look at the reference for it. And now that I'm confident on my research, I know that I can go ahead and paint these hatches up to match the full-size set. There you go. Put them aside to dry. That one only opens halfway because it's the bottom one. It doesn't really need to swing all the way open. This one, it's the top one, it needs to swing all the way open, so I put more care into that. And now all I need to do is glue the wheels down to them. Okay, I've got the tracks for the airlock door glued on. The angle that I'm shooting at that's straight, but the angle kind of sometimes makes it look like the bottom one is going wonky. And if you're going to do it with the door open, you're going to cover 90% of that anyway, so it's going to look something like that. I didn't want the door fully open because then you cover all the track and you don't see any of their hard work. And I didn't want it fully closed. I guess it's the tracks are meant for a closed door application, but I'm going to split the difference and make it about 3/4 of the way open so that you can see some of both of those tracks. And then I think I'm going to dress up this edge with a little bit of half round stock to soften that cut edge. The table has degenerated into madness again, so I need to stop and clean and reorganize and then jump back at it. I have, to the best of my eyesight, detailed these little wee panels, and there's the front panel for the oscilloscope or the pulse scope, and yeah, it's getting down to the tiny work, so let's clean up and regroup. Putting Paul's backlit films behind the two pieces of etch. Now this one will never have a light behind it, but you get to see all of the gauges and whatnot, and having that white behind it does show off the colored gel or the colored paint that I put in here. This of course will have a light behind it. Let me turn the table light on. So, yeah, boy, that's a shame that center one won't have a light behind it. That really makes it jump. That's a crying shame. But can't make a heavier wall where there isn't a wall. Yeah, looking good. I hope you can see that this is at least an attempt at making things a little bit cleaner. This big old hunk of ugliness right there is a big chunk of epoxy sculpt that I am using to basically sculpt the bottom half of the airlock. What's going to happen is when this sits over top of it, you're going to look down and see the bottom part of the airlock. And that's really only important if you plan on looking up through the empty, or through the open hatch there. You will be able to see the airlock top and the light and all of that. But you want to be able to see how the bottom of the airlock goes from the floor level down to the hatch. So that's all this is, and I'll dress it up with a little bit of spot putty and paint it when I'm done. It's going to look pretty darn rough, I can guarantee it. But it's a nice filler, and it puts a little bit of weight in the bottom of the hull, right about dead center. It gives it a nice center of balance. And let's see, what else since the last time? Just round and round of details. So trying to do, oh yeah, those are drying nicely. Using microcrystal clear on those big gauges there to fill those in and give little lenses for them so that I could put the decals on them and light them up from behind like that. And I think maybe light boxes are the next thing to be worked on. I'm working on this side instrument panel. And let's see, that's pretty much it. I've got the over there, you saw this, I've got the back of that glued on, and I put the front of the main scope on the box, and I saw a gigundous amount of light leaks, so I quickly took that back off, and I have filled basically the inside with black tulip to block the light, so I'm letting that dry. And the next thing is going to be adding the lights to this guy and blocking the light where I don't want it to go. So that should be a neat trick. And I have repainted the sink area to match what is on the actual prop or the actual set. And that's it at this point. We're letting things dry, so let's do that. The last time you saw it, I forgot this bit. I've started to assemble the things that are going on the back desk, or the back ledge there, and working my way around because I am done with the couch. I could glue the couch down now if I wanted to. I was waiting to kind of get that set in place before I did it. So let's glue that couch down. And can't put the sidewall in until I put this big U of walls in. Then I can put the little guy in. So let's put the couch down now. That'll be fun. And now I'm having fun with tiny rolls of paper. Yeah, I know, it's cheesy, but I wanted to do it anyway. Just rolling up some tiny slips of paper and stuffing them in the holes. I'll leave one empty for the chart that you're actually using on the table, but I couldn't help myself. I just think it's neat. I'll throw some glue on them from the back to keep them all in place. Okay, this is the end point for this evening's work. There is a butt ton of lights in here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 lights just in this part, and then another light in here, and then there's just going to be so much light. But this is done to a point where if I start working on more of it, I will end up touching something that needs to be drying overnight. So I'm going to let it dry overnight. Hello and welcome back to the madness that is building this Proteus kit. We've had another night and a day, and the epoxy sculpt has healed up and solidified and gotten to the point where I can tool it. So I was sanding down and carving out and all that kind of good stuff. And I've got it to a point now where this tub will sit on top of it. Let me get it locked into place here. Come on. Line up the back. There you go. It sits over top of it now. I got to put a coat of paint on it to really show off the defects so that I can see what needs puttying. But what you've got is a nice finished hole there. Particularly when you look up through. Come on, do this with one hand. Not the easiest thing in the world. Particularly when you look up through the bottom. Once the bottom hatch is in, you'll see a nice bottom of the airlock. And most of the back compartment is finished. I got to do the juice boxes on this side, the different colored boxes there, but most of the back is done. The three walls are pretty much done. The micro crystal clear has dried overnight, and it is micro and crystal clear. Believe it or not, there are bezels or there are bezels in those windows now. And I can put the decals on top of those and then seal them in with another coat of the clear canopy glue. That's my goal. Now, today's job is to get light boxes built for both of these, for both of the sides, and light those up. Here is where we are left with the map table. Some detail work still has to be painted onto that. I've got all the little maps rolled up and stuck in their holes, and they've dried overnight. And I used a piece of Paul's photo etch to use as a light block to keep the light from migrating up where it's not supposed to be. And I need to install the lights for this. Let's stop talking about what I've got to do and just start doing it. I'll catch you up on this before I paint it, though. This is Cora's station and that side of the wall, and I have got to put a coat of paint on those. But I've got some impressive goals for today, so I've got to stop yakking about it and get to it. Okay, time is in such short supply right now that I have taken to looking at the weather reports. And it looks like Friday is going to be the only really good day where I can rely on spraying the top coat, the white coat, outside. So today is Wednesday. That gives me Wednesday and Thursday to button this guy up. Should be possible to do, but I want to be able to take advantage of Friday's weather to get the white top coats on the outside. So nothing like a good old deadline to make you work faster. Okay, kids, this is where the going gets a little bit tricky. Here is the central island, and there is all the wiring that's coming out of it for all the various lights. The next step is to finish off all of the detail painting on this as much as I can get away with, and then nail it down to the floor and run that wiring out through the bottom of the tub. Very precarious times now. Got to make sure I don't stress these wires too much. This is the bit that's going to go up against the ceiling up in this area here, and I'm still debating whether or not it's going to be best to attach that to the wall like so. Sorry, do this with one hand. Whether it's going to be best to attach this to this wall, or whether it's going to be best to attach it to the ceiling of the tub and then set it down on this wall. So I think it's going to end up going that I attach it like this, but we'll see. This represents a significant advance. The central island is all together. It is stuck down. Well, it can be stuck down. I have it in place temporarily to check the lighting and to check some other things. I've got 2 or 3 little light leaks that I've seen. I need to patch those before I can glue it down permanently. You may have noticed I had to back up and remove the center wall from the back walls. I found it to be easier to put these side walls in separately. I recommend y'all do the same. This wall will fit in here better now, and the top bit will also fit in better having put these things inside, because now I can guide these side walls, the pall walls, into place and firmly attach those. And the last thing I'm going to try to do tonight is get these light boxes done on either side and get those installed. Yeah, I've moved into the other room, and I wasn't going to do this, but because I'm a big fat show off, I'm going to show you temporarily the lighting for the inside island. And of course the camera overexposes it, but Cora's station has light. There's a light overhead there. That station has light. the map table is lit. The little 4 lights to the right, to the front and the right of the map table are lit. It should be. The radio's got a light in it. And most importantly, if I can get around to it from this side, the airlock has a light in it. So that's all of the lights I've got so far. There's a ton of them in there. But you can see I've got some light leaking to patch, so progress is progress. Okay, we've got one last light check before this evening, before I say I've had enough with the electricity today. And what do you know? Come on. The scope is working. The light box on those windows are working. And the light box over here is working. Okay, welcome back. It is Thursday morning, the gateway to the weekend. And I hope to get a lot of progress done today. Have got the central island all but finished. Touching up paint here and there, but the wiring has been done, the light blocking has been done. I'm almost ready to install it. The side door, or the side walls are in. I've got to do a little bit more detailing to them before I can put the back wall in. The lab is all but done. Last night after I stopped taping, I finished the this console here, and I included the juice boxes of doom, for lack of a better term. There seems to be wild and varied amounts of what color those should be, and they weren't really well featured in the movie, so I took it as an excuse to add some color to the back of the lab, because, like I say, it is silver and green and beige, and that, or light gray, and that's about it. So I wanted to add some color to the lab, so I colored in the juice boxes, and that's all about ready to button up. And now I get to have my Cy Sperling moment. And Cy Sperling, for those of you kids out there who don't know who Cy Sperling was, he was a spokesman. He may still be alive, I'm not sure. But Cy Sperling was a spokesman for a hair club for men, and he always ended his commercials with, "I'm not just the owner of the company, but I'm also a member." And it was quite apparent by looking at Cy Sperling that yes, he was a member of the hair club for men. And he was not fooling anybody with his natural hair replacement. But this is where I get to have my Cy Sperling moment, because yes, not only do I sell Aztek Dummy templates, but I use them myself. So today's first job is to apply the window gaskets to the window pane, and I gotta tell you, I'm in love with this piece of plastic. It's unnatural how much a man can love a piece of plastic that is so much cleaner and clearer than the kit part, or the test shop part that I had, that this is going to be a joy to work with. So I'm going to put the templates down and get the inside frame glued in, and then while that's setting up, I will take task on some other parts of the kit. But it's coming together. I'm hoping with my little fingers crossed that I will be able to close this up today, so that I can put the top coats of white on it tomorrow. So wish me luck on that. But first, let's do some gasket templates. Here's a quick shot of the window glass half done. As you can see, still plenty of places for you to use your glue to glue this to the inside of the hull. And of course, you can glue all of the, there's no adhesive on the back here, so you can glue all of your inside frame to the inside of the window. So some people have mentioned that, boy, if you're covering all with vinyl, how are you going to get the glue to stick? Well, there's still these attachment points. 1, 2, and 3 are your main attachment points, and you can hit those all since they are still uncovered. And after every window that I do, I put the frame inside the top hull and check my alignment, and if anything seems out of whack, I can adjust it now before I commit to it. But you got to remember to keep pushing it up in the same spot every time, or else you may have 3 of them aligned and the second one, the fourth one doesn't. So just be careful that you are keeping your alignment pieces aligned. And you should be finished with this in a few minutes. Okay, the window gaskets are all on now. And now what I need to do is give it a good cleaning with some plastic polisher to get all of the greasy, grubby thumbprints off of it before I put the inner frame, glue the inner frame to it. Working on the decals now for the gauges, and I gotta tell you, after working on the star, or the gun star, where you had to cut off all the film around the decal before you could put it down, these decals are a walk in the park because you can hang on to a big piece of paper and know that when you're dipping it and working with it, that the all that's going to come off is the little carrier film around the actual decal itself, and you don't have to. It just makes it easier to handle. And I've got the first 5 of these guys in, and on the secondary, or the pilot station, and now I'm putting these 6 big ones in. Okay, it's Thursday early evening, and it's time for a little bit of catch up, and no mustard. I'm to the point where I'm ready to attach this island to the base. Yeah, trying to tread very carefully on things that have to get done, yet I finished all the decals that I can do. Decal on the island, decal inside the scope up front, decals on all of the gauges. Now I covered those over with a clear adhesive / window maker in the hopes that they would make little bezels on the front, and as they are drying, you can see the decal detail is starting to re-emerge. I want to take all of these wires that are amassing down in the base here, and I want to solder them all together and make one set of chase wires that come out. My immediate goal is to get this tub sunk down into the bottom half of the Proteus and get it with some epoxy on it, get it drying, get it curing, and then I will put in this back wall, and then I could start well, actually I could start putting in the furnishings for the back lab, with the exception of this little piece of wall here, which I cannot do until this back wall here is in place. So I'm kind of trying to think backwards of what needs to get done before what, and then chase that back to, okay, then what is the first step? Outside I have the base with the first coat of black paint on it. I figured out how I was going to do the wooden base for it. So that's been occupying some time. Here you can see the ring also has the decals in it. See if it'll focus. And I put the clear over that, and they seem to be drying in much better than the other ones are. So yay on that. Well, we're getting fewer and fewer pieces left, and that's a sure sign that things are in their final throwing together stage. And I am to the place where I am ready to epoxy the tub down into the lower half of the hull. So what I'm going to do now is mix up some 5-minute epoxy and splooge it into all of those pinholes and around the front there, and maybe a little bit around the dock bay. And next thing you know, Jed's a millionaire. We'll be ready to sit this thing down. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the tub is epoxied down to the bottom half of the hull, and it's going to cure overnight tonight. And anything left that I need to pick at, I'm going to be doing through the lens of, well, can you see this with the top on? Because I'm realizing that I'm spending a lot of time obsessing over details that will never be seen once you close this up. Even with my open door, my open gate policy back here is still, a lot of that is not going to be seen. So I'm going to close it up, turn the lights on, see what sticks out, what's glaring, what needs to be fixed, and what I can reach, and then deal with those things, because time is getting short, and there's just no time left to be obsessing over every detail. The good thing to note here is that the I guess that was, yeah, the canopy glue has fully dried over those gauges, and you can see the face of those again. So yay, I was kind of afraid that was going to be too obscured, but it's working. So I think that's the last thing I want to do tonight. There's one more possibility, and that is to epoxy in the bank of windows into the upper hall. We'll see how practical that is to do tonight. Okay, I am dead tired. I feel like I've been running a marathon on this build today. I started at 8 o'clock this morning. It's now close to 10 o'clock at night. I don't think I've let up for more than a lunch break. I'm getting a lot done and getting down to the wire, but I'm getting punchy now, and I got to stop. The back lab is in. I'm going to put some little greeblies and some details and some detritus matter in there, and trying to dress that up a little bit. You may notice I did knock the end off of that cabinet, like Paul's instructions suggest, and put this little sidewall in there. I think that's also going to help when it comes to the hiding the wiring from the top. But boy, howdy. I got one wire running out the bottom. I've got the joint here. I've got a wire up the top, which is sitting over there drying, and then wire it into that. But I'm going to do another pass at securing things and detailing things tomorrow morning. But I am dead tired. I've been at this too long. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow. Okay, welcome back. It is Friday morning, and the pace has gone from frantic to, oh my God. Marathon session last night, getting the Proteus as far as it is now, and today is not going to be any different. Doing the final wiring to the top, taking care of this cabin light and the ring lights, and those will be joined to the other wiring from the bottom half. I've got a fine bead of epoxy sealing in the window bank. That came out very nice. The windows are beautifully clean. I'm taking care to wipe them down and keep my grubby fingerprints off of them. Coming down to the tiny details, and I'm getting really excited because this is the point where it all starts to come together. I'm waiting for the soldering iron to heat up now, which is why I can take a breather or a minute or two here to catch you up. Also plotting a last minute order, and I'm expecting something in the mail today that, if there's time to finish it, will be an extra added edition for Wonderfest. So yeah, frantic. Well, now is the time for a crude comment, and the comment is, it's time for the ship to get crude. I have the crew laying over here. I need to put the crew in their crew positions in their full upright and locked seats. So I have to take everything one last time, give it a look around, see if there is any paint that needs to be touched up, anything around the crew. I will go ahead and put them down. Put them down. You're ugly and your mother dresses you funny. Not enough of a put down. So, crew goes in their seats, and I think you may not have seen this box in place, but that's the sealing box that I talk so much about. Time to populate this little vessel. And the crew is all in their places with bright, shiny faces. It does leave me a bit of a quandary. And I will spell out the quandary for... Oops, I'm sorry, I don't even have the pilot in place yet. I will spell out the problem as I see it. With Cora in her chair, and more importantly, using the pawl walls, you cannot put the ladder in place. The ladder is built to go against this flat wall and just kind of lay that way. Well, by the time you crook that wall back in, it stands up like that, which is all well and good, but then poor Cora can't even turn around without bumping into it. So being that they got far more use out of Cora than they did the ladder, I have decided to leave the ladder out. I don't know what this does to the canonness of it. Maybe I will store it in the back or say that it's stored somewhere else. But that ladder, functionally, it only really works on the outside. And every time they left the ship, they used the airlocks anyway. So ladder was a nice piece of set dressing, but it doesn't really fit in here. And I really can't even, I thought for a while of just, laying it on the floor, something like that, storing it on that wall. But even that is a trip hazard for poor Cora. So I don't know. I think we'll just let it out. Leave the ladder off. Even if I hung it on the wall like there were some hooks. Actually, that's not half bad. If I just hung it that way, it's out of everybody's way and it dresses up that wall. We'll have to see. If you see the ship and it's got the ladder on it, then you'll know what my solution is. Oh, we're getting close. When I start putting the top coats of white on, this is as much as I'm going to do to the outside before I join the top and the bottom. That's all there is to it. The next thing to do is to attach the two sections together. So we're going to let this top coat dry for a good long while, and maybe the last thing I do tonight will be to put them together. Okay, I am getting ready to close it up now, pretty much. I've got the lights on. Let me turn these on. You can see the lights are on. Rob, I'm using your hookup here because I don't have the base wired to it yet. But you can see all of the bits that are lit. Pardon the plotter plotting in the background, but you can see they got as many of the little linky-dink lights lit up as I could. And now I'm going to do one more pass with what I call the debris. I'm going to print up some tiny little clipboards and papers and stuff like that because everything is still kind of too neat and clean, and I want to put some stuff on the tables, particularly back there. Now it's a shame I don't have any microscopes or other instruments that I can put there, but that tabletop is just too clean. So I got to see what kind of I have a little bit of extra time now. Let's see what I can come up with there. Oh, you may not have noticed I put the wiring that went from the back of the laser to this part, which is actually the backpack for the laser. It's supposed to have a clear bubble over it, but I guess they just didn't have the wherewithal to cast that. So let's put some debris down and make it look more lived in. Well, it's that time of week when it's time we close everything down to get this video put together and uploaded. And I am out on the deck here enjoying a well-earned minute of peace because I have been running full speed on this Proteus all week. And was supposed to have another project to be working on, but was not mailed out to me in time. So if it arrives before next week when I go to Wonderfest, I'll have it done. But if not, then no. So until it's been a bit frantic, next week there probably won't be a video. It will be a Wonderfest wrap-up, unless I get something done that I can upload Tuesday night. That may be possible, or Wednesday morning. Anyway, I'm rambling. It's been one of those weeks. I'm going crazy. So until next time when I see you and tell you how everything went, have a good week. Be good. Be good to each other. That's the important thing. We're all in this together, kids. No one's getting out alive. Be good to each other, and we'll see you here next time.